like hundreds of other Chicago public school students who drop out, not because they're lazy or they don't want to go to school, because they're being forced to choose between education or death. Many people don't know what goes on down the streets of South Inglewood, north side, west side. It doesn't matter. Y'all don't walk in our shoes. Y'all don't know how it feels walking every day to school. Ron doesn't know what goes on in these neighborhoods, only what he sees on TV and what the reporters say. But you don't come down there and sit with us and talk to us about what's really going on. I've already lost one brother, and I'm not trying to lose another one. I'm not going to be here next year, so keeping these schools open is the best thing they can do right now.
They say we got $1 billion deficit in the public schools. That's because they've taken $1 billion out of our property taxes to put it in the tips to develop downtown. It's time to develop our communities. That's the money we need. State lawmakers, you can change the law that governs these closings. Listen, everybody. We expect a floor vote on Senate Bill 1671 and House Bill 3283. These two bills will place an immediate moratorium on school closings. No more, the Speaker not gonna let us do it. No more, we gave it the good fight. You don't have to live in these neighborhoods and go to funerals. We do. So from here on in, no more games when we playing with these people. We expect a moratorium on school closings and, damn it, an elected school board in the city of Chicago.
I'm here supporting the community against the closing of schools. I think it's going to have an adverse effect to the communities that's being closed. I don't think that the mayor and all of those in city council and CPS that's advocating school closing have the best interests of the community at heart.
Oh my God.
Well, we can't have trillions of dollars spent on wars overseas while we're cutting funding for schools at home. I think the budget deficit here in Illinois is about $53 billion, but the taxpayers of Illinois have already paid over $60 billion for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And as you know, Martin Luther King said, and as I usually try to reference, the bombs that explode on Vietnam and the bombs that explode in Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya, they end up exploding on the streets of America like this. We're out here campaigning for Roosevelt University. We have this campaign going on called No to Counselors, No to Caps, Yes to Counselors. We want more counselors in the Chicago public schooling system. So we're out here getting petitions signed. We want 1,000 petitions for Senator Durbin and 1,000 sent to Senator Kirk.
really an outrage what's happened in the last decade here, but it's worse and worse. And so
any society that doesn't invest in its children is doomed, and this is an outrage. We should all feel it. Our grandchildren and all of these kids are targeting the black community. It's so clear.
You know, this is the result of years of abandonment, and what we've got here is a Jim Crow school system, and it's been something we've been fighting for years, but it's getting worse and worse. And these closing of schools is just creating an apartheid system. So we're here to protest that injustice, the racism of it, and we're fighting for public education.
This is what happens when you try to close over 50 schools. The most in the history of America, except Katrina. So, look over there. The only time that's ever happened before was when Katrina, shut down the whole school system. They rebuilt it with 100% charters, so there's no neighborhood public schools in Katrina. The people have no say and no control over the school system there. And in Chicago, that's what the mayor's trying to do. He brought in Barbara Britt Bennett as the CEO, the 5th CEO in 2 years into this school system. Their strategy is to disrupt and divest and confuse and destroy these communities so that they can redevelop it. I mean, our mayor, he works for Goldman Sachs, let's get that straight. He should be in jail because he took Clinton's appointment to work at Freddie Mac at the same time that he was a banking consultant for Goldman Sachs, and that should land you in the federal slammer, but instead it lands you in the Chicago mayor position. We got Bruce Rauner, this billionaire at the Chicago Commerce Board, who has no educational qualifications whatsoever, but just appoints himself to some education task force and wants to run for governor and wants to privatize all education in Chicago. They're kicking out these communities. 88% of the school closings, over 50 schools, are in the poorest black neighborhoods in Chicago, the same neighborhoods they're trying to redevelop. Look at Cabrini Green. The housing authority shut down the projects there, and now they're building upper class rent homes, and they're trying to turn the neighborhood around, but before they did that, they had to close the schools and start all this violence in that community to push out the black people who are really living there, who paid all these taxes, who built this city. So, that's what the mayor's talking about when he's talking about a global city. He's talking about moving everybody that lives and works and occupies Chicago, moving them to the side and making a whole bunch of money and laughing all the way to the bank and giving us the finger.